Vinyl Ventures gang, we're back at you, and boy, do we have a great show. This show is actually a show that was recommended by a listener.
And viewer.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a show we're calling Fruit Salad.
And we're going to talk about bands, songs, and albums named after fruits.
There are quite a few.
There are quite a few, and the ones that I chose and flipped through my collection to find, they're pretty strange, and they're not records that I've talked about before. So
yeah, we're not gonna talk about Led Zeppelin with the Lemon Song.
No.
Or what's their other one? Tangerine.
No, which is one of my favorites off of Led Zeppelin 3. We're going to talk about other stuff.
Other stuff that we haven't talked about.
And this is a prime example of why we want you guys to communicate with us, both on the YouTube channel and at Fourth Wall, where you can join for free, or you can join for whatever you want to per month. You can get free swag, behind-the-scenes stuff that may or may not be up there yet. And just, it's like another community away from YouTube. But when we have them go to the socials, John, tell us what we'd like them to do.
Like, subscribe, share, and comment. You see what this is? This is a listener or a viewer listener, both.
Hopefully he's listening and watching.
Yeah. A viewer-inspired show,
Yeah.
which is cool.
Yeah.
We want you guys to come into the fold and be a part of the group, and this is a prime example.
Yeah, I mean, we were actually all traveling, working together, and I was reading the comment, and I was like, hey, this guy has a show idea, and everybody was like, we love it, so we're doing it. Anyway, it was fun looking for these records.
Yeah, this was I would have never, ever thought of this title.
Yeah, me neither. And it's a cool idea. And like I always say, when these ideas come up and you start looking through your records, then things that you didn't expect pop up. Like one of my records I looked at just to see if it had a fruit in the titles, and it did. So it's wild. It's wild. We like to look at the collection from different perspectives. And this is a great example of that, and just kind of a great teamwork between the viewers, listeners, and the folks that make this show go. So what is your first example,
Well,
John?
I'm going to start off with a heavy hitter.
It is a heavy hitter, and if I didn't love the song so much, I probably would say it doesn't belong on the show, but it absolutely does.
The Beatles, a little band from the UK
Liverpool.
that we've talked about a little bit. But the song is Strawberry Fields Forever, and it was one of the first things I thought of.
Yeah, me too. And like I said, some of the songs from that era, didn't you say that this was originally supposed to be on Sgt. Pepper?
Yeah, the song was originally supposed to be on Sgt. Pepper's, but in a push by the record company for material, they released a single.
Okay.
Because we're still in the 60s, so singles are still a big thing. And the Beatles did that a lot. They had a lot of non-album singles.
Yeah.
So they pushed a single, and it was a single with Penny Lane. And it wasn't, they couldn't find an album for it, so they just put it on the Magical Mystery Tour release in the US.
Isn't it funny that like the B, tell me which is the B-side. Is it Strawberry Fields Forever or is it Penny Lane? I don't really want to know. What I'm saying is the Beatles released singles that had B-sides that I think most of the time were just as good as the A-sides.
Yeah, it was the B-side.
It's crazy. But, and the other thing is Magical Mystery Tour is just such a wacky movie. And the soundtrack is wacky. Yellow Submarine, the same thing. I mean, they were not afraid to push those boundaries. And that's one of the great things about them. The other one is just the traveling through their career, how they meandered and went many different ways in a very short amount of time. And that's just a great example. That you've got the thing in Central Park now, that's kind of like the dedication to John Lennon right there. And right across from where the Dakota is. It's great. It's cool. And there aren't any other Fruit Beatles songs, right? It's the only one.
Not that I'm aware of, unless there's like a hidden weird track.
Right, or something off of the
Yeah.
anthology.
Well, we'll have to ask Keith. This is, I had to bring this and put it on here, or Keith would have a fit.
Yeah, he would have been one of the commenters talking about why didn't you mention Strawberry Fields Forever? No, I mean, they are heavy hitters for sure. And I feel it's kind of strange. We talk about them and obviously have done some unboxings with them, but they aren't like an overbearing artist. But I think that, they have a place in musical history that absolutely belongs there. And I think 150 years from now, people are still going to be talking about them.
Yeah.
And there really aren't that many pop bands you can say that about.
No, not a bunch. And this song came out in '67, and that's when the single came out. And Lennon based the song on childhood memories playing in a garden of Strawberry Field, a Salvation Army children's home in Liverpool.
Interesting.
So it was a big song for him. I mean, I don't know where it ranks in the Beatles song ranking, but it's pretty high up there.
Yeah, it's a great one. There is, I think it's Anthology 2, which all those anthologies are coming out here in a matter of weeks now. And I think they're remastered and they have extra stuff with them. But there is a version of this song on, I think it's Anthology 2, maybe 3, that I really, really like. It's just a different version of it.
Yeah.
And that's another cool thing is they may not have had 15 songs left over from when they recorded albums, but they were in that habit of singles recording, and there's always different types of stuff out there. So
yeah, and let's see how it charted. Yeah, it hit number 1 on several charts. It only charted in the U.S. number 8.
Huh.
So it wasn't a big charter, but it was kind of a double A side with Penny Lane.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's what they called it, was a double A side.
Yeah.
So it was a B side, but it was really a double A side.
Yeah. It's amazing when your songs are that good, you can't decide which side to call A and which side to call B.
Yeah.
That's pretty great to have that option. So, but that's a great one. Let's take a look at the back. You've got this like wacky, almost kaleidoscope image on the back, which they probably were seeing something much like this
At that time.
through a lot of the late 60s.
Absolutely.
No, that's a great one. Didn't Michael Young have a Magical Mystery Tour book soundtrack?
Yeah, in the UK, I think it was released as like a singles book.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, because it was a 45.
Yeah.
Right, and he's got 2 of them.
Yeah.
It's cool. And that's just the strangest thing to me, especially now. It doesn't happen as much because releases are made usually worldwide. I mean, a release comes out in the U.S. sometimes before Europe and vice versa. But back then, there could have been months between when something was released, and the products and the packaging and stuff is so different between the U.S. and Europe at the time. Stuff like that, I've never seen anything like that. And when you see a Beatles thing like that, you got to buy it. I mean, you cannot hesitate.
Yeah, and it's not terribly expensive either.
No, well, now
but
it might
just
be,
finding it pop up is
right.
the challenge.
Right. Well, that's a great one to start with, the Beatles, and it's kind of at the beginning of the alphabet. I like it. I like your technique.
So you're up. What do you have?
Well, I'm going to start with a local Indianapolis indie band. They are, now let me get this right, they are considered a rock band, but when you look at like the genre, it says indie rock, folk rock, chamber pop. This is Margot and the Nuclear So-and-Sos. And this is the band, this is the album Animal. Now, when this was released in 2008, I think. Yeah, this was released in 2008. And they released 2 albums that day. Animal, which this one is, and Not Animal. And the song off of this is Cool Kind and Lemon Eyes. And I listened to it again last night. It's a cool song. They're, kind of just an indie rock band. At one point, I think they had 8 members, which you can kind of imagine being
That's
in a band.
a lot.
I mean, a band with 3 people is a lot when you're talking about personalities and schedules and stuff. But they're very much in that like indie rock. I mean, I can't put a definition to them or compare them to any other band. I think at the time that they got their deal and became prominent, the record companies, you think about it, in the early 2000s, the record companies were like just starting to like deal with digital music and Napster and how are we going to operate the way we've been operating for the last 100 years? So musical tastes changed, radio stations formats changed. It wasn't just straight rock anymore. You had alternative, you had pop stations, and I think it was a very confusing time, not just for the record companies, but also for bands like this to find a footing.
Yeah, there were a
I
lot
can
of
hold this for a moment.
there were a lot of indie rock bands popping up in the early 2000s, and it was a good time for music. It really was. And by probably 2010, that's when pop and hip hop kind of started just taking over the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm. If you want to hold the other side of that, we can open the gatefold. There's a cool, nice liner notes, some pictures of the band in here, and there's their house on the south side of Indianapolis. It's just a cool thing to be able to mention a local.
Yeah, mention a local band that was really on the national scene.
Yeah, and they played on Conan O'Brien, I think, when this album came out. The Cold Kind and Lemon Eyes was not the song they played. I can't remember what song it was, but it was a big deal.
Yeah,
at that time. I mean, we've had famous national bands pop up out of Indiana, but it just doesn't happen that often.
No.
It's Indiana and Indianapolis is not necessarily a hotbed like maybe Chicago or LA or San Francisco. So when there is a band that makes it to that point, I'm going to turn this around too. I love the way the cover looks. It's
a beautiful cover.
It's almost like a. Let me see if I can get this damn thing to not want to open up. It's almost like a watercolor painting.
Yeah, it's very ethereal. A member of the band, Chris Fry, works in our industry and is also a friend of ours. And we probably need to see if Chris will be on a show sometime because...
Well, he's a former member.
Yeah, former member.
Yeah.
Every time I work with Chris, hearing those band stories of touring are just amazing. Some of the stuff they did.
Yeah, Margot and the Nuclear So-and-Sos. Go out there and give them a listen and hear a little indie rock from...
Indie.
He's got it. What's your next one, Wheels?
That's nice.
Thanks, man. I don't even know where the hell I got that record either. I mean, I don't know if it was a local shop, but I got it new. I'm pretty sure I didn't order it. When you have as many records as I do anymore,
it's hard to even remember where they come from.
Yeah.
A little band called the Gun Club.
Oh man,
And this is their album Miami with a song called Watermelon Man. And it's not a cover, it's an original.
It's not the Herbie Hancock
No.
Watermelon Man, because that was an instrumental. Herbie's.
Yeah.
So. And I almost brought that. It's so funny. It would have been funny to have two Watermelon Man.
Yeah. And I don't remember this song, but when it popped up, I'm like, oh, man. I got to bring the Gun Club. I love the Gun Club. And this is kind of, it's kind of an interesting, another little circuitous route because this was on Animal Records, and the producer of Animal Records, Chris Stein from Blondie. And Blondie, Debbie Harry, actually sings some backup tracks on this.
Does she?
Yeah.
It's funny. Animal, what did you just say?
Animal Records.
Animal Records, and the Margot and the Nuclear So-and-so's album.
We've
is
got a
Animal.
theme.
We have a theme within a theme.
Maybe we'll do a show on animals.
Ooh.
That'd be a good one.
There you go. Hey, Jacob, put that on the list. That doesn't exist. So sorry. Deborah Harry sings some backing vocals.
Yeah, and Miami came out in '82, and the genre, Gun Club is they're a strange band.
Yeah.
They have a very strange sound. I love their sound. It's almost like it's been called alternative country, punk blues. And, for lack of anything else, they just throw it into post-punk.
Of course. I mean,
Yeah.
well, I mean, that's the era.
Yeah.
And if I never would have guessed that I thought that they were a little bit further into the mid 80s. So.
No. This was their second album. And before that was Fire of Love, which is amazing. And then after this came Death Party, which was an EP. But they weren't around a super long time. They had a revolving cast of members.
I feel like a lot of bands at that time did.
Yeah. When you look at the members of this, you're like, wow, there are a lot of people.
Is there one of the
Yeah,
graphs
it's
that
one
shows
of those charts that are just all over the place.
Those are some of my favorite things to look at, especially with a band like Rat or LA Guns, because there's been like 75 different people that have been in that band. No, that's cool.
And I think their connection with Blondie, Chris Stein, and Debbie Harry came about through playing gigs at CBGB.
Ah, of course. No, that's great. Can I turn this around?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Oh, it's just kind of someone. So you've got the tree there and the crucifix being held out. I love the look of this.
It's really cool.
It is very cool. And it's an interesting choice too, because when you think of Miami, you think of the blues and all of the colors being very bright, and this is muted. It catches your eye for sure. I need to listen to more of their stuff. I just really haven't.
If anybody wants to check out the Gun Club, this is probably not the best entry. Fire of Love, the first album, is.
Okay.
To me, it's a perfect album. Everything on it's great.
We need to do a perfect album show too.
Yeah.
We'd probably only talk about 3 of them.
It'd be a bunch of stuff from our essentials.
Yeah. Well, that's a good one, man. I know I've seen a couple people. Didn't you do a Gun Club? Have you done a Gun Club short?
No,
No?
I have not.
Oh, okay.
I have the first 3 early things and some other stuff they've released, but they've released a lot of stuff later, and they're just one of those bands that have a a great sound. I mean, I don't even know how to describe. There's nothing else like it.
Yeah.
It's maybe very similar to the Cramps.
Yeah, I mean, in today's world where everybody has access to like anything and everything, you start to realize how hard it is to be original.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Back when this came out in the 80s, I mean, you could listen to stuff at some record stores, but there was no way to listen to things that you didn't own or didn't have unless you listened to your friend's copy of it. But now I think it's a blessing and a curse to be able to hear anything you want to at any time. It takes a little of the mystery out of the whole process. But it is nice to not have to, throw, what is it, $30 at a new album if you only like one song or you haven't even heard something. So I don't know. It's a wild time we live in for sure.
It is indeed.
Well, that's a good one. Gun Club, Miami. I like it. Okay.
You're up.
We're going. Now, I have a very old copy of this. This is Belafonte at Carnegie Hall. And of course, we're talking about Deo, the Banana Boat song. Now, this song is actually a traditional Jamaican folk song. And, it first came out in 1956. And if you think about this song, and if you don't think about Beetlejuice with this song,
Yeah.
I mean, this song has had such a life of its own. It kind of, I mean, it's obviously his signature song, but it's kind of got a life of its own.
Yeah.
A traditional Jamaican folk song is bigger maybe than the artist that recorded it. Now, Harry Belafonte was a huge artist in the 60s and 70s and an actor, kind of like a dude that could almost do anything.
Yeah.
He became a very outspoken person for the civil rights movement and different things like that. So at a time when, there were only 3 television channels and radio was king, I mean, if you think about it, Harry Belafonte was one of those first guys that had his hands in music and movies and, social issues. I mean, that's a pretty big thing. And obviously, in being outspoken like that, you're going to not just have fans, but you're going to have the other side of that. You're probably going to alienate like half of the people out there too. But his shadow is very long, and the song is amazing. Let's open this up. This is not in good shape. And I want to read you something off the front there. So this kind of gives his performance the jazz treatment, and there's some photos, and it's really cool. But what I wanted to point out is right here on the front. I'm going to have to pick this up to read it because
Sure.
It says Miracle Surface. Let me put my glasses on real quick. It says Miracle Surface. This record contains the new revolutionary anti-static ingredient 317X, which repels dusts, helps prevent surface noise, helps ensure faithful sound reproduction. Living stereo. And
I love the living stereo.
I do too. And there's Harry on the back there.
Well, how does it... So it's a used copy that's been around the horn. How does it sound?
I think this is a inherited copy.
Okay.
And the last time I listened to this was many years ago. It was a couple turntables ago. And it sounds pretty good, man. Oh, man. So this is from 1959. I thought it was later. I thought it was in the 60s. But yeah, this is from 1959. So a live obviously records and things had been around
Yeah.
for a long time by then, and they'd made great strides in sound reproduction and recording and stuff. But yeah, before 1960 is when this performance took place.
So Harry was already kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
So it's probably more 50s, 60s when he was really big.
Yeah, yeah, and it's just it's one of those songs that probably because it's ingrained into pop culture. You hear it in many different places, but the big one for me is Beetlejuice for sure, and that whole scene and how all the characters are singing along and dancing along. It's really great. So yeah, Harry Belafonte, man, great voice and a fantastic actor, and this is obviously not something that we talk about that often. I mean, I guess you could kind of say he's sort of a jazz singer too. But
yeah.
I think I might have one of his other records that was also inherited.
I think I have this one also.
Do you?
I picked it up. And that's another thing. Harry's stuff you can pick up at a pretty reasonable price.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, geez, 1960? That's like a long time ago.
Yeah.
Right? Like 70 years ago, something like that. So yeah, but Harry Belafonte at Carnegie Hall, the complete concert. And I love all the imaging on here too.
Yeah.
The RCA Victor
because
logo.
those are not stickers. That's printed on the label.
Yeah. But yeah, we've got the 317X on here.
Remember that 317X.
I've never seen that or heard of it.
Yeah.
It's just funny the little things that they would market to try and sell a couple more records.
Well, it worked.
It's like marketing. It's marketing.
Well,
just like yogurt says.
My next one is Spoon. Ga 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 ga. And there's a song on here called Cherry Bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a bunch of, it wasn't even a single, but it's, Spoon is a band that, and this was Gaga 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 was their sixth studio album.
Yeah.
So at that point, they were really rising through the alternative music ranks, and they were a band to be reckoned with in the alternative world. And they're still out doing it. I mean, they've had more success since then. I think they had their biggest selling album a couple of years ago. So
really?
They're a fabulous band to see live. I've seen them live several times.
Yeah, I know you've been a fan for a long time. They're just kind of like on the fringe, right? Like they never had like a huge hit.
Right.
But they're one of those, to not have a better term, alternative bands that kind of broke through and has kind of always been there since the 90s, right? Yeah. Hey man, I like Spoon. I eat my yogurt with it every morning.
And did I say? Yeah, this came out in 2007.
2007. Okay.
Yeah. And the Targets, that's another one of their songs, Don't Make Me a Target. But the singles from this were Underdog and Don't You Ever.
Okay.
Underdog's a pretty well-known Spoon song.
Okay.
But it's actually, You Got Your Cherry Bomb.
Okay. Well, I mean, I thought of Cherry Bomb as well, but I was thinking Runaways Cherry Bomb. And in looking through my collection, I don't have the Runaways version of Cherry Bomb on vinyl. So.
Funny little story about this. The band really struggled with the track, and that led them to record it 3 different ways, including a space rock version.
Ooh, I want to hear that.
And this is found, you can find that on a bonus disc at the end of the album arrangement.
Cool. Merge Records. Huh?
So now I've got a reason to get the deluxe version of
There
this.
you go. Well, did you really need a reason to spend more money?
Well, yeah. But I think I got this in Canada.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, because they had I bought a couple of Spoon albums because at that time the American dollar would go a little bit further. I don't know what it is now.
It still does now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're in Canada, it's a good time to go record shopping.
Yeah. Yeah. We should take a trip up there, man.
Yeah.
Just head to Windsor. It's only like 3.5,
It's
4 hours
close.
away. Yeah, let's do it. No, I need to listen to more Spoon. They're just one of those bands that, like I said, is just out of the purview of a lot of folks. And like I said, there's just so much. I need to start making a list of things to listen to, because we do these shows and I'm like, yeah, I need to listen to that because you talk about
Yeah.
it. And we're almost at 100 shows, dude. And it's hard to
keep up.
I can't go to the grocery store and get 3 things without writing it down,
Yeah.
Let alone and I also talk about having a list of things that I'd like to buy from record stores or record shows. And I just never refer to them.
Yeah,
I get into the record store or the record show and it's like an assault on the senses. And I just look around aimlessly, which I think is what they want you to do.
Well, that's what they want you to do, but that's the fun.
It is. It's always fun. It's like traveling through time.
Yeah.
I mean, we say it all the time, but I see so much at record shows, because record shows have different vendors and people from all over, and you just see so much that I think is so appealing from your past, right? And
Yeah.
then smells. I don't know about you, but smells are huge. Like you smell like that. Somebody will have some old records that have been stored like in a musty place in a basement or something. And you're like, oh, that's like my grandma and grandpa's house. It's really wild how much smells make you think of, and we'll cut that out of the show. I don't know. Maybe we could do a smells show.
A smell show.
No, but Spoon, ga 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 ga, right?
Yes.
Does it have anything to do with Radio Gaga?
I don't think so.
Okay. Or Lady Gaga Gaga Gaga?
No, this was.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to check them out. I like the fact that on this show we're talking about stuff that is off the beaten path, for sure. Any other Gaga Gaga Gaga?
No, the album did debut high on the Billboard 200
Oh, did it?
album chart. It was like it debuted at 10.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Huh.
So they were
And what year was it?
2007. So
Okay.
it was in that early 2000s.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really think that was a very experimental, maybe coming out of the 90s, because the 90s had so much difference.
Yeah.
And it just continued.
Yeah. You've talked about like that 2000s era, like Strokes
Yeah.
and Jet and all those bands. But yeah, I think the music industry was it was going through a lot of different stuff. And it's so funny. It's like,
Just ignore them.
I know, it just makes me laugh. But I think the music industry was finding its way at that time, trying to figure out where its place was in a digital music world. And I'm not sure they ever figured it out, but a lot of bands got chances, I think, in that time period that
Yes.
maybe otherwise they wouldn't have under the regular circumstances before all that stuff happened. So that's a good one. Spoon, ladies and gentlemen. So
You're next.
I'm going to talk about Green Jelly, and they're considered an American comedy rock / punk band. They were formed in 1981, originally named Green Jello, but then they got a little pushback from calling themselves that, so they had to change it to Jelly. Three Little Pigs was their big breakthrough song, and they're just the closest thing I can like relate them to is maybe Gwar.
Yeah.
Kind of similar to Gwar, but they've had such an amazing group of members in the band. And the song, this is 333, and the song on here is Orange Crunch, which is one of the things, for some reason, one of the songs I thought of when we talked about doing fruit. And I also thought of Orange Crush by
REM, which I think I have on CD, but I don't have on vinyl.
Yeah. And, you know, and I mean, another notable thing about this band is that Maynard and Danny Carey from Tool were both involved with the band at different times and have sung on some different stuff. But there's a couple things I want to point out about this, and follow me here, because I'm going to take the record out. But look at, they have like people that have played and performed with them. They have like these baseball cards of each of them performing. And Maynard's on here somewhere, and Danny Carey's on here somewhere. But
there are a couple.
Is that not cool?
That is super cool.
If you think that's a lot, there's more on the other
There's
side.
more.
And I had just never seen that, like making a baseball card of a rock performer. I think that's really cool. They're obviously kind of an out there band, kind of approaching things from a different angle. And they're really good. I mean, you know, they just sound like punk to me, hard rock or punk. And then the record is like a black and red splatter, which is cool.
I like the colored vinyl. It's a nice, I don't seek them out, but it's a nice treat if something shows up with colored vinyl. It's like, ooh, this one's cool.
It is. And if you think back into the days, because we've been doing this show since 19. Can you believe that? But if you think back in some of those earlier shows, colored vinyl was not a big thing.
No.
And we didn't talk about it that often because it wasn't a big thing, but it's a marketing thing now.
Yeah.
And I've read a lot of stories about people being down on certain artists for putting out like 6 different variants of vinyl colors because they're trying to snag as much money from people as they can. And I get it. It's a marketing tool. I think, you know, there's nothing wrong with just good old black vinyl. And in today's world, black is kind of the rare variant, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Green Jelly, they're just a fun band. And there's another song. This whole album's great. So just give it a listen. I mean, if you need a laugh, give it a listen. And they're very good musicians too.
Yes.
So Green Jelly, 333 Orange Crunch.
Nice.
It's nice and crunchy.
Well, my next one is a band that I thought
wait a
of.
minute. I'm sorry. One more thing. There is a poster in here.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Put that on your wall.
And like a comic. Okay, sorry. Had to show all the goodies.
So the next band is XTC Oranges and Lemons. And I remember exactly when I bought this. I got it from Duke at a show.
Oh, did you?
And I've got a bunch of XTC, and I didn't know this album, and I'm like, I got to have it. One, I love the cover.
Yeah.
Absolutely love the cover.
The cover is a trip, man. It almost looks like artwork from a Beatles album or something.
Yeah, it came out in 89. Mm-hmm. It was recorded in 88. And it was their 11th studio album. So they've got a pretty broad bunch of stuff.
Mm-hmm. I know, and we've mentioned him a lot, Steven Wilson from Porcupine Tree, and he's got solo stuff on his own. He's a huge XTC guy, and he's the one that's doing all of the remixes
Yeah.
of the XTC stuff with one of the, or maybe the whole band. And they do, man. They loom large to a lot of people. Here in the U.S., they're not as big of a deal, but yeah, the how many albums do they have? Do you know off the top of your head?
Boy, I don't know. Well, this was their 11th in 88. They have 14 studio releases.
No kidding. Okay. And are they still? They're not still together, are they?
They may do a show here or there,
Yeah.
but I don't
Okay.
really think so.
Yeah, I need to give them a listen because I know that they're just such a big deal to so many people.
Yeah,
And-
they're pop, art rock, new wave, post-punk, art punk, progressive pop.
Okay.
So they're a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Art punk.
Yeah,
I love that one.
art punk. But they first met in the band met in the 70s, and then, they were part of that whole, they were active from 72 to 2006. So
Okay.
no, they're not touring anymore.
Okay. Gotcha.
Which is too bad because this band just has a great, great, great sound.
Yeah. I mean, I know that like a lot of my musician friends are big XTC folks. And when musicians are that into a band, they're probably a pretty good band. That's a
Yeah.
cool one. What's the back? Have we looked at the back? Oh, it's just like a shot of the guys and a guitar. Huh. Okay. Well, I'm starting today. I'm going to listen to some XTC. How about that?
And the album that came out before this, Skylarking, is a good entry point.
Okay. That's always, we don't talk about that enough, but that might make an interesting show, like good entry points
Yeah.
for bands. Because sometimes, I mean, if you just willy-nilly just pick any album and listen to it, you may have just picked their art rock album, or you may have picked an album that is not a fair representation of the band. That's a good idea. We're getting a lot of show ideas on today's show. I love it. John is
I'm looking because actually Skylarking was 2 albums before this, or another good entry point is English Settlement, which came out in 82. Either one of those
okay.
is a really, really good entry point.
I feel like that's good info.
Yeah.
I feel like that's great info for a band that looms this large, that is simultaneously really famous but kind of still underground. It's good information for someone to say, hey, listen to this one first.
Yeah, listen
Right.
to this one first, see if it takes.
Yeah.
And if it does, stay with it. And this is actually a double, which, it's not
a gatefold.
which is not J approved,
That is not J approved.
but it is a double album. So,
Okay, cool. That's a good one.
yes,
And I don't know that we've ever mentioned them on the show.
I don't think we have. It's just finding the right slot to put them in, and
Right.
this was perfect.
Right, that's a good one. All right, cool.
You're up.
So I'm going to talk, and this is a picture disc. I don't have anything but a picture disc for this record, so I'm not going to take it out of the condom because this is, can you see that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. This is Strawberries by The Damned. It's their 5th studio album, released in October of 1982 on Bronze Records. And I mean, what can you say about The Damned that hasn't been said? They are like one of the. I kind of feel like they are definitely on the. They're just one of the punk bands. They're one of the first, right?
I left them off my punk list because I didn't have a bunch of Damned,
Yeah.
and it was a mistake.
Yeah, I have a lot of Damned, and friend of the show, Bill Hayes, it's like his favorite band as well, and I wouldn't have been introduced to them if not for Bill. So thank you, Bill. And it's funny because I just saw a thing on social media, maybe last week, Fred Armisen, because he's like a drummer and a comedian and really just an off-kilter dude. But I love him. I always love him. He's always great. But this is his favorite Damned album. Come to think of it, and he thinks it's his favorite because it's just far enough away from the first couple of albums, and then he thinks that you hear all of their influences for the first time when you listen to this one. So I think that's a good, maybe they're kind of taking a little different direction, but you're starting to hear where everything that has made up those first 4 albums came from. And I think that's always great. The artwork on this has always been This is maybe the only picture disc I would ever want to own because the pig. I love the pig. Yeah. But the singles off here are Dozen Girls and Generals. And here's something else that's kind of wild is in 1982, Robert Fripp from King Crimson joined them in the studio during the recording of this album, but the only track they recorded together, Fun Factory, was left off the album and didn't receive any official release until 1990. Robert also joined the band on stage for a few songs in 1982 at the Hammersmith Odeon, and there's a bootleg of that concert somewhere out there. But just the thought, isn't it kind of wild to think that Robert Fripp from King Crimson is obviously a Damned fan?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's kind of wild to me. But, they're still out there. They're still touring and putting new records out. They are just a great punk band, and they've always been one of the Mount Rushmore of punk rock as far as I'm concerned. So
yeah, they were there from the start, and they're still going.
Yeah. And we're in a time now, and I'm reminded of it because Ace Frehley from Kiss just passed away. We're in a time now. We are really in that time where our heroes, our musical heroes, are getting up there and leaving the building, and that's sad. But the other thing that I'm always grateful for is to have lived in the time that we have, because John and I have been around long enough to see basically all of the people, all of the heroes that created rock and pop music live. And now it's just, we're getting to that time where their expiration date is coming up. But let me turn this around. There's another picture of the pig on the back, if you can see it, with a strawberry on its head. So if you haven't checked out the Damned, give them a listen.
Yeah.
I defy you to not like them.
They were in a band, a couple of the members, Dave Vanine and Captain Sensible, Raymond Burns, and Rat Scabies, Chris Miller. They were in a band, Masters of the Backside, which also included future frontwoman of the Pretenders, Chrissie Hynde.
Oh, okay.
Because Chrissie was
in England.
She was in England working at the sex store, the Malcolm McLaren clothing store where the Sex Pistols were born. So
that's wild. I mean, those scenes, no matter where they are, the record companies always manage to find them, right?
Yeah.
Whether you're talking about Sunset Strip, whether you're talking about that scene in England, whether you're talking about Joy Division and
Manchester.
All of it. They always, the record companies always seem to be able to drill down into those and pull as much out of them as they can.
Which is a good thing.
Yeah, thank goodness, or we never would hear a lot of this music. So, who is your last one? I know it's a great one. It's a fantastic one. We don't talk about them that often.
The Dead Kennedys, fresh fruit for rotting vegetables. And I've had this. I peeled the sticker, tried to peel the sticker off, but you can see it came from Tony's shop second time around. And that was the go-to place to get anything alternative punk off the wall in the 80s.
Yeah.
I mean, Tony just had everything.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And this is a good, I just love the Dead Kennedys. They are so strange, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're punk, but there's also kind of a performance art kind of thing with them. Obviously, Jello Biafra, the singer, very outspoken. He did a lot of spoken word stuff in the 90s too.
Yeah, he's done a bunch of different weird stuff. He's very politically motivated, so
Right. I'm going to turn this around. You've got the I always love the back of this.
yeah, I love the back.
Yeah. What all do we have on here? Let me just it's hard. Kill the Poor starts it off.
Kill the
I know
Poor.
that. It's hard to read.
Yeah, this
Forward to Death, When You Get Drafted, Let's Lynch the Landlord, Chemical Warfare, California, Uber Alice.
yeah, they had 3
California.
singles from this: California, Uber Alice, Holiday in Cambodia, and Kill the Poor.
And they do a fantastic rendition of Viva Las Vegas
Yeah.
on here.
And this was their debut. So in 79, no, 80. It came out in 80.
Yeah.
But California, Uber Alice, the single was released in 79. And then the album came out in 80.
Yeah. That's a great one.
And this was originally released on Cherry Red.
Mm-hmm.
And then they eventually moved to Alternative
Tentacles, right? Yeah. Yeah, I need to bolster my Dead Kennedys collection.
There's not a lot.
No. I have a favorite song by them, but I'm not going to mention the title because it would have to be bleeped out.
It get bleeped.
But there's something comforting knowing that there's bands and music like this out there, right?
This is I think this one probably wound up on our essentials because I love this. I think it's another one of those perfect albums.
Yeah.
Where every song is what you would expect. There's no throwaways.
Right. Yeah, that's a good one, man. Like I said, we're lucky to live in a time where. Have you ever seen them?
No, I have not.
Yeah, because I don't feel like there were a lot of like countrywide tours.
No.
I mean, they played in California.
Yeah,
obviously.
and the California punk scene was so fat with great artists. I mean, and out of the California punk scene came hair metal.
Yeah. It's wild how, they hated Nazis and skinheads, and what grew from that punk scene was the guys that were dressed like girls that became hair metal.
Yeah.
And they kind of went at each other, but they were also kind of friendly too. So,
Yeah, because they were playing the same clubs on the Sunset Strip.
And it's just wild how all of those things coexist, right? But friction is what creates a lot of great art.
Yeah.
So that's cool. That's a good one to end on. I like it.
And it's a fast record.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're talking punk songs, so
Like
33 minutes.
Oh, that's longer than I thought.
Yeah.
I thought it would be sub 30. No, that's good. Yeah. I mean, they say what they say and they get out of there.
Yeah,
Say
we're
what you
done.
say, get out of the way. I like it.
Dead Kennedys, fresh fruit for rotting vegetables.
I love it. So this is Weezer's album, OK Human. And the song on here is Grapes of Wrath. Now, there's a story behind it. We've talked about Weezer before. I love this record because there's like some orchestral stuff in with it. And they did a whole live performance of some of this stuff too. This came out in January of 2021, so right in the middle of COVID. And I just watched the video for Grapes of Wrath last night. My wife and I watched it, and it is wild. I mean, it's not quite on the level of like OK Go,
Yeah.
but it's a wild video, so you should really check it out. And the premise of part of the video is that all four of them are on like a Teams meeting, and you just got to check it out. I mean,
and Weezer has done some great videos.
oh, they've done great videos, and I feel like for a band that is known for the song Buddy Holly and that video,
Yeah.
which was pretty groundbreaking at the time.
The sweater song.
Yeah, the sweater song. I feel like they've just become one of the great bands of the 90s, you know,
Yeah.
where other bands that have hits like that kind of slid off into the one-hit wonder land. But Rivers Cuomo has managed to sustain a career for this band that I never would have guessed. And you know, they were another one at that time that you just heard that song so much that I wasn't a fan. But I have definitely become a convert and a fan of everything they do. The whole Africa thing with Toto, and you know they played Africa, and then Toto played Hash Pipe, and
Yeah.
you know my promising local band I was in many years ago, we played Hash Pipe because it was just an undeniably really good, heavy, crunchy
Yeah.
song. Anyway, let me read you the idea behind Grapes of Wrath, and I'm going to look at my computer for this. So a night a few years ago, and this was back in 21, I woke up in the middle of the night and couldn't get back to sleep, so I decided to listen to an audiobook on Audible. Well, he started listening to The Grapes of Wrath, and he did not get good sleep. But it was a pretty magical experience, and there's something about that state of the brain, that time of night. I'm able to drift into this more imaginative state and really enter the world of the writer's imagination. So that's kind of where it came from and where the title of the song came from. And there's all kinds of grape stuff, like
Heard it through the grapevine.
Heard It Through the Grapevine. Moby Grape was a big band.
Yeah.
But I thought, since I love this album so much, that we'd talk about the Grapes of Wrath. And I don't have a lot of Weezer's stuff. I think I have 4 or 5 albums, but there's a lot of them out there.
Oh yeah.
But it's fun I was thinking about this. We've never done a food themed show either, and that would be an interesting perspective.
Oh,
But
yeah.
what I love about the records that we've talked about today is that I don't know that we've talked about any of them on the show before, and having almost done 100 episodes, that's saying something. And I just love the fact that we have so much to cull from. You know what I mean? We are very lucky to have the record collections that we do, and that, you know, I kept all my records from back in the day, and I didn't have nearly as many as you did. And if you think about it, that's a big deal, because they're completely inconvenient and take up a lot of space. And the fact that we both have so much great music to be able to do these different themed shows from it's special.
Yeah.
And it means a lot to me. And now we're getting, closer to our 100th episode. And let me not forget to mention that we've reached 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, which is a huge threshold.
Thank you.
Thank you all. It's all as we go on and do this show. I get a lot more emotional about my record collection, and I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it resonates with all those folks that watch the show. And we just want to thank you guys. We want to thank you for coming along on this little fruit salad trip. But we also want to thank you for being there for as long as you have, whether you were along for just the audio version or you came in those like late 30s, 40s episodes when we started doing the video version. And I thank them because they're such an integral part of the show. But Jacob and Keith, we wouldn't be doing this without those guys. So I always give my love and my thanks to those guys because they have been along for this journey since we've been doing the video version.
Yeah, because we're just the faces of the show.
Yeah, the show, there's so much, and that's a questionable choice too.
Well, yeah.
But there's so much that goes into putting this together, and so much heart and soul that's put into it. So thanks to Jacob and Keith. Thanks to you guys for coming along. We want to remind you that you can go to Fourth Wall. You can join there for free. We want you on the socials. We want you communicating with us because that's where this where this show came from.
Give us an idea.
Give us some ideas for a show. Nothing is out of the question because we've done some pretty wacky stuff. But thanks again, everybody. For Wheels, I'm Jay, and we'll see you all the next time around.